And as he continues in the number 9 spot, trying to see who else is making a move on the charts, and might want to check on the 16 car, guys. I don't mean to produce from up here in the booth, but Colin Braun has just jumped up to the number 3 spot. And there he is.
He was practicing out here Thursday, didn't he? Run in the USAC Silver Crown race.
Yeah, he ran 14th in that race, and not the kind of finish that he was looking for there.
That's a good lap speed. I mean, you see his front grille is all open. The nose of that car is on the ground, so that he has a good race car right now.
See the comparison between the fast lap and the next lap, or last lap, and only a 1/10 of a second difference. So if you can get it consistent, that's what it's all about. The other thing we should talk about is, we touched on a little earlier, it is going to tighten up tonight when this sun goes down. So how much do you try and think ahead and you sacrifice here?
It's tough because every race car driver wants to be on top of the sheet. And, you know, if you're just a little bit free, you're not going to be on top of that sheet.
Final practice well underway here at O'Reilly Raceway Park in anticipation of tonight's Nationwide Series stop here at this speedy 5/8 mile oval just outside of Indianapolis. I'm Jack Arute down on pit road. Colin Braun just had a wonderful run, and it's kind of interesting. Sometimes it's the car, sometimes it's the driver. In this particular instance, Colin was complaining about a little tightness going into the corner, but spotters noticed one thing. Colin was using a little bit too much brake going in, so they said, roll into the brake a little bit. I believe he may be trying to simulate a qualifying run. Let me show you why I think that's the case. There's new Goodyear Eagle tires on the car. They've broken out the duct tape to try and stop up the front of this Ford Fusion. But more importantly, and one of the neat things that happens, in order to get the hot water out of the radiator, they have a cooling tower. They put in about 50 pounds of ice. They're going to cool down the radiator, and then they're going to go first time by, green flag, and 2 laps to see just where Colin Braun might qualify later, guys.
Well, we talked about the fact Colin Braun was getting ready for a sim for qualifying. He certainly did. He just went to the number 1 spot in the charts at a 22.9 second lap, 107.4 miles an hour. And Josh Wise, we can tell you, is number 2 right now in the 22 car at 23.01. Take a look at the top 10 on the speed charts after all the qualifying sims have been completed, and it is Colin Braun in front of Joey Logano, Josh Wise, Cale Gale, some names that we would not have expected perhaps. But remember, this race is run in the evening. Sometimes teams sacrifice a little early to get it better a little later. Let's check in with Jack Arute, who's with the man who was at the top of the speed charts.
Yeah, P1 for Colin Braun, and I got to ask you, is that what you expected when you got here at ORP?
Well, you know, this car's always been faster. Greg Biffle normally drives this number 16 City Financial Ford Fusion car, and he's always fast in it. So, you know, I guess everybody was waiting to see if I could drive it fast like he could or not. And
what were your impressions?
It was really good. You know, this car drives great. My crew chief, Eddie Pardue, did a really good job getting this Ford Fusion tuned up. And, you know, it was fast right off the truck. We rolled off, and we were right up in the top 5 or 6 there right the first run. And then we made the second run. We're P1 there. So we were happy with that, and certainly pretty fast, and hopefully it'll be good tonight.
Now, it's important for you to qualify well because you also have to make your way in, but also picking pit stalls.
Well, we were just sitting here talking about that, and it's going to be a tough challenge here. It's always a guessing game of who's got a starting park program going or what's exactly going to happen with all the pit stalls. And everybody else is locked in, so we kind of got to pick through the, I guess, throwaway pits and pick our best one here.
Vince, you and I are getting old, or these guys are getting a lot younger or something. The young guns are on top at ORP.
Right. Based on what you saw, who do you pick to take the pole at 4:30? Wow.
Yeah, how you can bet against that 16 car? That thing's fast.
Colin Braun. It would be his second pole. Remember, he got one earlier this year at Mexico in only his 3rd start. This will be only his 6th. There is the 16 car, and we mentioned the fact that Greg Biffle has run that car extremely well here last year. So that's going to wrap it up for us here at O'Reilly Raceway Park. And we welcome you live to O'Reilly Raceway Park in Indianapolis as we're getting ready for race number 22 of 35 in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. We're getting ready to qualify for tonight's 43 car now.
Colin Braun was fastest in that second practice earlier today. Had a good run going in the truck race last night. Unfortunately, didn't work out like you'd hoped. But what's worked for you here on this track so far this weekend?
Well, you know, it's just having a great car like these guys have put together. You know, first of all, I want to say my thoughts are with our engine tuner Wayne. His son died yesterday, unfortunately, and just want to say we're thinking about you and we wish you were here. And you know, our car is really good. This number 16 City Financial Ford Fusion car is definitely running strong, and looking forward to going out there and qualifying.
16 has been good today, Jack.
Okay, as he pulls in, Colin Braun, who was fastest in our practice session, is on track. And take a look at Lap Tracker, because this is one of the guys that has a real shot at bumping Cale Gale off. And the cloud cover has returned over ORP, the entire track.
You know what? The engine's like that. And like he mentioned earlier, his engine tuner, Wayne Cantor, he lost his son this week. And there's a pole right there.
He just did it. 22.88 seconds. Colin Braun takes advantage of the situation. I mean, perfect timing for the cloud cover, but this car was fast all practice long. He has earned it here as he brings it across the line. The second lap, 22.83, so he lowers it another 0.05 of a second, just to say, see, fellas, it wasn't a fluke.
His second pole of the year. His first pole was Mexico City, so just a little bit different racetrack.
He started in the top 15 in all 5 of his career prior starts, and you mentioned the other Mexico City poles. So right now, Colin Braun potentially on point. Davis, while all this is going on, let's check in once again with Jack Root.
Well, this guy may be doing a valet, but this guy, you look like Colin Braun, that you were going into the fastest drive-up window at City Financial. You were quick in practice, and now you're P1 for qualifications. What's the key with this car and this Fusion?
Well, you know, it's not over yet, but just having a great crew chief like Eddie Pardue. You know, he makes this number 16 City Financial Ford Fusion run really fast. We had a fast truck last night. We had a you know, fast car in practice here, and just paid off in qualifying. All these guys have been working their butts off, and I really appreciate all their hard work. You know, we've had some ups and downs here lately, but at least we've been qualifying strong and always having fast cars.
We'll have to wait and see if he can parlay that qualification into a victory tonight.
So, Colin Braun, there he is. He's got his pole, his second career, in his 6th career race in the Nationwide Series. Congratulations. Take a look. The first-time pole winners. Colin picked up his first one at Mexico City, and there you see the rest of them. So let's check in with Vince Welch.
5 races this season, 2 poles, one on a street course, one on an oval. What's it mean to you to get a pole award in such a young part of your career, second one?
Well, it's great. You know, Carl Edwards and David Reagan talked to me both after their runs. They were nice enough to come by and tell me what they thought they could have done better, and I try to take that and just do that in my number 16 City Financial Ford Fusion, and it worked. You know, those guys are a huge help for me. My crew chief, Eddie Pardue, is a huge help, and it's just great having really good teammates like that that are willing to come out and help me.
On a track like this where track position is important because sometimes a little too tight for comfort, how important is it to start in the front in this race?
Oh, I think it's going to be important. You know, you need to stay up there in the front and stay out of the trouble. And, you know, I also want to say my thoughts are with Wayne, our engine tuner. Unfortunately, his son died a few days ago. And so all of us are thinking about you and wishing you were here, Wayne.
Yeah, some heavy hearts, but some smiles just the same, Marty Reed.
And everybody will be keeping their eye on that young man when we go green flag racing. We'll come on the air at 7:30 Eastern time tonight on ESPN.